Have you ever heard of the Whisper Clock? It's a pocket watch from the Victorian era, a beautiful piece of craftsmanship from the 1800s. But this isn't just any old timepiece. It doesn't tell time, it counts it down. The legend begins with its creator, a reclusive clockmaker in the foggy streets of London. He didn't build it for a wealthy client or a noble lord. He built it for his young son, who was fading away from a mysterious illness. As the story goes, the watch was his final, desperate attempt to hold on to the boy. But instead of the familiar tick-tock, this watch had a different sound. It whispered, softly, almost inaudibly. It would whisper the boy's name just once, every hour. The family counted the whispers, dreading each one. When the whispers finally reached 0, the boy passed away peacefully in his sleep. At that exact moment, the watch fell silent, its hands frozen. The clockmaker tried, but he could never make it start again. It was as if its purpose was complete. For decades, the watch lay dormant, a forgotten relic in a dusty attic. Then, years later, it resurfaced at an estate sale. A curious collector, a man who loved stories and strange objects, bought it. He'd heard the morbid legend, but dismissed it as a simple ghost story. That evening, back in his study, he picked up the watch. Joking to himself about the spooky tale, he gave the crown a turn. It wound with a soft click. Nothing happened. He shrugged and went to bed. The watch on his nightstand, but in the dead of night, something woke him. A sound faint and chilling. It was a whisper, seeming to come from right beside his ear. 3, he sat bolt upright, his heart pounding. Was he dreaming? An hour passed, the silence in the room thick with tension. Then it came again, a little clearer this time. 2, panic set in. He tried to get out of bed, but felt a paralyzing fear. By the time the first light of dawn crept through his window, he heard the final, chilling whisper. One neighbors later reported hearing a single, terrified scream cut through the morning air. When the police finally broke down the door, they found the collector. The whisper clock was lying on the floor beside him, its hands stopped perfectly at midnight. Since then, the watch has become a phantom artifact, a cursed wanderer. It appears and disappears, turning up in pawn shops, at eerie antique fairs, and sometimes even in shadowy online listings. They say it seeks out new owners, passing from one unsuspecting hand to the next. The warning passed down with it is always the same. Once you touch it, once you feel its cold metal against your skin, it learns your name, and soon after, you'll hear it. A soft whisper, calling to you when you least expect it. That's when you know your countdown has begun. So, if you're ever browsing through forgotten treasures, and you come across an old, ornate pocket watch that doesn't tick, my advice is to leave it be. Don't wind it. Don't listen for a sound that isn't there. And whatever you do, don't wait for it to reach 0. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy dark tales like this, be sure to follow for more. Stay safe out there.